to go see a chiropractor because my neck hurts and it has been hurting on and off for the last 5 years. I was cycling one day and I got hit, and it wasn't terrible. Like, I kind of hurt my knee, but it didn't at the time feel terrible. But actually, ever since then, my neck has been hurting, and it physically looks like I could use an adjustment. But I just have never gone to a chiropractor because, again, it's on and off. But when it hurts, it hurts. And it's been hurting the last like couple of days. So I really want to go see a chiropractor and go get an adjustment. Well, go get seen, and hopefully an adjustment would help me, because I don't know if I just said this, because this is not the first time that I'm trying to record this, because the first time I was trying to record this, it wasn't recording. So now I'm a little annoyed for repeating myself. But anyways, yeah. What was I saying? Neck. It physically looks, and I've noticed this for years, it physically looks like my neck is, it's just not, it's off. That's just like the best way that I can explain it right now. It's off. It looks like it needs to be adjusted, and like I can physically see that there's something off, and it needs to be remedied. I needed to get professional help because it hurts like a bitch. But I started to record this because I had a headache and I just wanted to talk about my headache. But actually, like, the more that I'm talking about it, like, I feel a little better. It's not always bad to complain, because sometimes you need to get it out. You need to get it out and release. And in that release, you can feel a little better. There's medicine in the release. I actually wanted to talk about something else. And maybe not. It's best to include in this because it has nothing to do with my neck pain, or really the headache. But while we are sharing, I have been meaning to talk about something that was inspired by something that was said in a K-drama that I finished watching yesterday. Yeah, it was last night. So I finished watching King of the Land. And in the end, one of the characters says to another character who is like basically trying to be friendly and nonchalant about things. She says to him, don't try and be friendly as if nothing has happened. And it made me think about my father. It made me think about my birth father. So my father is not the confrontational type. And even though I can be confrontational in certain relationships, I generally would not consider myself to be the confrontational type as well. Meaning, like, if there's like a really hard conversation, or an uncomfortable conversation, I might feel deterred from having it. But that being said, I do value and I do force myself to have um, hard, honest conversations because they're necessary. Um, and I will actually feel uncomfortable not having those hard, honest conversations that need to be had in my relationships. That being said, I wonder if I got this fear of confrontation from my birth father. I mean, maybe it's actually both my fathers because my stepfather was no walk in the park growing up. Yeah, this is very loaded in multiple ways, in a multitude of ways. Anyways, when I heard that line, I thought of how every time that I have tried to have an honest conversation with my father, a hard one that was loaded with emotions that I have carried with me growing up, having not had him in my life and going through life, growing up, becoming the woman that I am without him, and also hearing all the ways my mother was hurt and not having my father's side all those years, and not necessarily holding a grudge against him or wanting to hold a grudge against him, but not having that missing piece of his perspective, his side of the story. Um, so basically, in wanting to make peace with certain details, let's say, I have tried to have these hard conversations with my father, but every time that I would try to bring something up that I wanted to talk to him about, that I wanted to just get some peace with, he never wanted to. He wanted to leave things in the past, and he would even tell me like that he you know I mean, I'm not good with remembering things exactly as they were said, but basically, like, he always wanted to leave things in the past, and he wanted me to leave things in the past, but it felt more as if like he would rather act as if nothing has happened, but so much had happened that affected me directly, indirectly, and it impacted me. It impacted my own character, my character development, and just it it felt it felt I don't know, unfair. It just always felt incomplete. Like the talks that I wanted to have with him always felt incomplete because he never wanted to give me more than he did, than he was willing to, than he was comfortable with. And the fact that it felt like he never really wanted to put himself in that place of feeling uncomfortable and going through that, having to go through that emotional turmoil of going back to the past and revisiting these different moments that maybe he's not proud of, even if he won't say it out loud, that maybe he feels guilty or ashamed, disappointed in himself. He he won't bring himself to admitting any of this if he feels any of these things. And for that, the fact that he won't meet me in that place of vulnerability, it makes it so I don't feel like I can be vulnerable with him. And if I can't be vulnerable with someone, I don't want to have, I don't, I just don't see how I can actually have a close relationship with this person. And so my father and I we're not close. We did meet when I was 18. And that was because I finally called a Skype number that I had found for him on the internet. And I had seen this number, found this number for years, and I just finally called, left a voice message, and I was like, if you're this person or whatever, I don't know what I said. But I did end up getting a call back. I think like it was a week later, and we ended up meeting up in Florida after I had moved out there to go try out college and go live with a friend out there. We met, and it was very surface level. Everything has always been like very surface level. Like it's never been able to be as I believe, or at least I would want it to be as revealing, insightful. I don't I just wanted more. I'm like I don't know if you just wanted to skip to the good part of a father-daughter relationship, but having not had him in my life all those years, and then having all these what felt like missing pieces, not knowing, his side of the story, his perspective, his anything, and then him not being willing to give me more than a sprinkle, like it just, for me, that's just not enough. It's not enough effort. That's not enough anything for me. I mean, I am one who wants to have deep conversation um with people in my life. I mean, at least those who I would have close to me, those who I would have, intimate relationships with. Like I don't have these shallow relationships. Like there's either like depth, or I'm going to keep you there, but like how do you just keep, your birth father there? Like it's just weird. It's weird. So we don't really talk. And I've kind of like struggled with this. I mean, now I'm more accepting. But like my father and I don't talk. We don't talk. And I think I did talk to him and said, like, listen, there's, I do want to have a relationship with him. I've expressed it to him multiple times. Like it's not that I don't want to have a relationship, with you, but you have to understand. But I guess he doesn't have to. I mean, or it's either he does or he doesn't. But like I tried getting to him. I'm like, listen, like there's a lot of things that we can't just I can't just pretend isn't like a thing. I can't just pretend that I, you know, you were not in my life all of these years. You know, I became who I am without you. Um, you know, but I do, like, I do want to talk. I do want to have a relationship. I did say this to him, but it just, I guess I've wanted him to want to put in more, to give me more effort. And at first, like, I felt like it. When we first, like, started talking, you know, he would reach out more frequently. And then I think the more that I expressed what I was expressing, the more it feels like he pulled back. Like, he just kind of has pinned it on me as being the reason why we don't have this close relationship, because I'm holding all these things against him. But like, I'm open, you know, and the only reason why I didn't bother responding to the last text message he sent me is because when I was pregnant and I told him I was pregnant, I barely heard from him. I barely heard from him. He didn't check in with me. After I had my daughter, he didn't really check in with me. He didn't check in with me, like, at all, really. Um, I don't know, maybe I get a text, like, here or there, but my daughter's a year old, and there's no sign of him having any sort of interest of wanting to meet her. There's just little to no effort on his part. And the thing is that I am blessed to have really good relationships. I have good friendships. I have people who love me and my daughter deeply. And so because I have said relationships, like, I'm not going to settle for breadcrumbs. You know, it's either you're going to put in effort and deserve to have me in your life or not, because I am the type that is going to give my heart. I'm going to give, well, now as a mother, you know, I give what I can. And it looks differently. My relationships, they do look different now. But like, that being said, I'm not really interested in having a shallow relationship with my father after everything, and to pretend as if nothing's like happened. It's either he puts in more effort, or he doesn't, and he doesn't get to have a relationship with me. But I'm not going to put more effort in than he does. The fact that I even sent him any photos of my daughter, sharing, like, letting him have that, photos of his granddaughter, the fact that I even do that for him is, for me, that's a big deal. You know, and my father does have another daughter, and all these years since I've met her, I thought, you know what, she's nice, and I'm very open to having a relationship with her if she wants to. I'd be happy to have a relationship with her. I'd be happy for her to be in my daughter's life and vice versa. But again, like, it's up to her, just as it's up to my father. I don't know what conversations they have had about me. I don't know what she really thinks of me. We haven't actually had, like, a sit down, and they live in another state. So it's not like we've ever had a sit down and really spoken about things and really got to know each other and got to understand each other more. So I don't know what she thinks of me, and I don't know if what she thinks of me keeps me at a length away. I don't know. Like, I do think of her, and I try and text her here and there. It's infrequent. It's not very frequent, but I have tried to text her and check in, because I do still see her as my sister, and just because of my father and I's like history doesn't mean that I wish to cut her off and not have any sort of relationship with her. I do. um so anyways, um yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to what I wanted to talk about. That was, yeah, yeah. um I got, yeah. Yeah. I think my rambling for today is done. My neck is hurting again. Yeah, I really have to go see someone. Hopefully I get this fixed soon and don't have to keep on living with this neck pain anymore.